8 a.m. for Family Matters, a brand new show on Praise 87.9 FM. Hosted by Dwayne Uter, alongside Dr. Cheyenne O'Connor, a licensed clinical psychologist and relationship expert. We'll tackle the real issues that families face. Straight talk, expert advice, and live call-ins. Got questions? We've got answers. Tune in and let's build stronger families together. Family Matters, this and every Thursday on Praise 87.9 FM.
7:49 in the morning is right start on a Wednesday morning, starting your day with a smile. We have in studio this morning Dr. Obinna with our Optimal Health Talk for this week. Wednesday, Wednesday, the 14th day of January. Man, I almost say August. It feels like August.
It's already running.
Yes, how are you, Dr. Obinna?
I'm fine, and good morning to the good people of Cayman Islands this morning. It's good to be with you again.
Yes. Last week we had a great discussion.
Yes.
A great discussion. We looked at how wonderful and marvelously this body is made. A machine that is designed not to die.
Not to die. We tickle that, yes.
So it would seem like our choices, I hate to say it this way, but it seems like human beings are suicidal by nature because
it is the society that creates that.
from the time we start making the choices of what we feed ourselves and how we live, we've been doing everything to kill ourselves.
I wouldn't go that far, but it looks so, yes.
Yes. Or put it this way. We stay away from the things that to preserve our lives and to preserve our health.
You're right, Dwayne. It's one of those areas that we kind of wonder sometimes, why is it that despite our knowledge and understanding, we still go to the things that generally we know will hurt us.
You know, Dr. Obinna, I think I'm a good chef, baker, and so I always pride in making fruit cakes, Jamaican black fruit cake at Christmas time, and just last year, the year before, I decided not to make any because it dawned on me that this thing can't be healthy. It is really good,
yes,
but it can't be healthy at all. The amount of sugar, the amount of fat, that's butter plus more fat in eggs.
But you called it fruit cake.
Did
you say fruit cake?
Yes. But they're fruits like raisins, currants, those kind of stuff. But again, that is highly saturated with sugar. Can't be good. I felt guilty.
You know, I can look at it from a different perspective.
Yes.
Remember, one of the things I realized again about nature, and please, whether you are driving to work this morning or in your house making breakfast, please forgive me. My voice is a little bit off. I'm battling the climate.
Okay.
But so what happens is that as we go on,
Yes.
you're going to realize that ultimately there will be a place where there is balance. You know, nature seeks balance. You know, by itself. Everything in the body, human body, is called homeostasis. But even physically, there is a balance that sometimes, as we go on in this program, I will highlight some areas where we don't have to be that dogmatic in terms of insisting that every moment, every second, you have to get it right. You know.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's one of the areas we probably will point out as we go on in this program for people to realize. that there are because that's what scare people sometimes. You know, when you want them to just fit themselves in this jacket that is seem to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, but there are balances, or there is a balance in nature that if you apply it, intelligently, you probably get the same result without really hurting yourself.
Without hurting yourself.
Yes, because we know, let me make a little tweak on that. There is something called glycemic index, which is how fast your blood sugar rises. So if you take the 1 teaspoon of sugar in water and drink it, it is going to happen. But if you had some beans prior to that, probably 5 minutes before that, and it mixes up with the sugar, some fiber in the process, the spike will not be as much as it would have been if you just had the sugar. That's the balance we are talking about. Somewhere we're going to talk about that. At one point, we're going to talk about that as the program goes on.
So it's not just. I guess it goes with the concept that your body needs necessary bacteria.
Yeah, there's things about it's all put together.
Yes.
Perfection is something that evil scientists are struggling. Those who are even deeply interested, invested, and researching are still struggling to unravel the intelligence and the sophistication of these mechanisms. It's amazing.
So God who knows, God who designed this body is the same one who built the earth, designed the earth.
Yes, and that's where we are going to go this morning, Dwayne.
Let's go there.
I think before we even understand anything else, I just try to bring together something that came to my mind. That if we get it, maybe most of the things we are going to be talking about in this channel, in this program, is going to be a little bit more easier to understand. So I term it in the beginning. Yes. In the beginning, because everything started in the beginning. For those who are a little bit, vast in technology, can look at what has been done. In the Nobel Prize of Physics, not medicine, was won in 2022 or 23, won by a science called quantum entanglement. You know what they eventually got to know? That everything is interrelated, entangled, and has a beginning for the first time. Science is beginning to appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, I want to start.
I would dare say that it does not only have a beginning, but it has a creator who's still in control.
It's what I said. It is science doing that. You know how far they've been fighting, avoiding, doing everything to avoid, to understand, to put it that way. But they've gone that far. And even the most stoic, dogmatic physicists and scientists are now beginning to realize. They're not saying it loud, but they're now beginning to realize about the creative mind, God, which they don't want to name. But they call it all sorts of names. We now know that there was a beginning. So for those of us who do that, let's go back to there. In the beginning. In the beginning, we are told that everything started from the spoken word. And of course, the first one was light. And that's where so before we even talk about blood pressure and diabetes and pre-diabetes and cholesterol and stress, I want us to go back to that first miracle. That miracle that made you, that is all of us here now.
It's a miracle.
Possible. Now, if you go back, that first miracle started with our earth, a planet, from every understanding of it, from what we are saying and what our scriptures told us, was made specifically, engineered for life. Not just us, life generally. And so our body, which is the primal, I call it the primal intention, also was engineered with precision to be the one that project the whole essence of that life. So if you catch this, if you're listening to me everywhere you are, if you catch this and take your mind a little bit deeply and think about it, then everything that we are talking about, and you would never look at lifestyle diseases or all of these diseases we are going to talk about the same way again. Think about the earth. The way it is tilted. It is tilted in an angle we now know, specifically meant to capture the entire, not just the entire rays of the sun, but a particular spectrum of it, and spins continuously to create seasons. It's not only that, Dwayne. It also has a cocoon, a covering, shield. A thin layer we now understand was specifically also protect those of us underneath it from the bad rays, the dangerous rays that sun. It's called the ozone layer. And in that ozone layer, that compression is what gives us gravity. But that's not where this is leading. I want to get it clear. The gravity is physics. But it also traps an atmosphere that has specific content of elements. And listeners, the analysis of the component of our atmosphere has carbon dioxide, oxygen 21% of it, hydrogen, and nitrogen. I want people to write this down because it is the same elements that are, when you put them together in molecules, micromolecules, macromolecules, macromolecules, are responsible for all the ingredients, both in structure and function, of everything in our body. And the same with other animals and plants. Now, the complexity of our own is what makes it different. So, if you allow this atmosphere, it's going to crush us. But that filtering by the ozone layer, and of course the delicate composition of these substances, makes us live in a way that we don't get that crushing power, because we are constantly inhaling oxygen, remember? And we exhale carbon dioxide. And the plants, primarily, that's their work, will trap the energy from the sun. For the first time, take our carbon dioxide, combine it to make their own energy, their food. And do you know what they release? Oxygen and water. And that oxygen comes right back to us. So anybody who takes time to think about this, the balance is not just about the combustion of production of energy or the breath that we take. It also helps our climate and the biology of other animals. Have you thought about that, Dwayne? Have you sat down and imagined this precision? It is a level of precision that, so when people stand up and tell us about chance and things, I kind of marvel at their thought process. Because
while you're speaking, it just dawned on me, like, if I was drinking a glass of water and somebody took up some dirt, just a little bit, and just drop it in the water, I would just throw it away.
Yes.
But yet, because, and if you stir it, it will get dirty.
Yes.
You show the color. But yet, the same water comes from the ground, totally filtered.
Absolutely. You extend it a little bit. The elephant in the Sahel will go to the very first rains that come after very dry season. And then the water is so muddled, it will bathe in it I need to put his sock and suck that same water and drink it and walk. I've always tried to get myself scripted so that I don't digress, because if I digress a little bit, it's going to go. Because in the Amazon, where people have not encountered, there's a particular, somebody eventually penetrated to find a particular tribe that have not encountered modern medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And they took their blood samples and look at the antibody levels, which is the body's capacity to fight infections and infestations, kill cancer cells before they even start, destroy cells that are beginning to go rogue in our body. Those cells, they marveled at the amount they found and the type of antibodies they found. But just to continue, the same ingredients that we are talking about here that sit above our heads, like I said, have become the ingredients in which our body was built. And our cells are using to continuously make the things that we use in our body. So plants have learned how to tap the energy from the sun, as we say, and then create in them food that we now have to eat. So at one point, we are going to look at the implication. I want everybody to hold their thought on that. That plants, primarily, they are the first ones that take the sun that was, the light that was made, the sun that was created. They tap the energy, the total energy of it, and use it with the carbon dioxide that we bring out from us and make food. And they keep that food, some of them, because they want us to live. They want this to be poured for us, because we are going to eventually have to consume them. So I want you to begin to wrap your mind at the fascinating story that we are about to create. That plants need us to keep producing, giving them that carbon dioxide. So they are producing things in them intentionally, making sure that this place doesn't become mass. They want to live. So they make things in them for us to live. They are called phytochemicals, we call them. So this cycle of life that I'm trying to portray and try to tickle us to think about is what makes us unique. And it is also what makes our earth unique. We are not going to go into the other parts of the other planets and what happens and why we think our earth is the only place that can keep life. But that's for a different program or something, because we are talking about life. So this is where the intelligence of our biology becomes very obvious, because it is the same chemicals, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, that is in the composition of carbohydrates, CHO. If you look at their molecular, those who do chemistry, CHO, I think it's C6H12O. That is for carbohydrates. For fat, it is C6H12O5 for fat. For protein, which is amino acids, is CHO with nitrogen. 3. And these in various combinations, either proteoglycans, that's protein and glucose, or lipoproteins, which is fat and proteins. Whichever combination is what forms not just the structure of our body, but every function that happens in there in various combinations. It happens exactly the same way in plants, only that plants are primary and they're not as complicated. So that's why I want us to get this very clear, that the signals, the feedback loops, the timing, the precision in which all of this happens does not in any way think or look at our body as something that was made by chance. But there is something about this intelligence of our biology that becomes obvious. It does not have to be just as a simple equation as we are trying to make it. There must be something that is controlling, that is coordinating, that is bringing all of this together. Remember we talked about it the last time, something that forms just about the second, third week as we are forming. It's called the notochord at that time, but it becomes our brain and nervous system. I tend to ask people this question when I look at the way I see the brain. Have you imagined, is there any way we can see what is going on when you have something that is changing things inside of our body by commanding the cells to change from the day they were made? Originally, they were supposed to be the same, and it begins the commanding process. Where did it get that information? We know that it gets most of the information from the blueprint, which is the DNA. There are other influences that we now understand that could not explain some of the changes that happen in the body, that is not just about the biology. So that's where we're going to go back again to that same process we talked about. You remember the thing we looked at about Sam? I don't know whether, he's in the men's fellowship I talked about.
Yes.
When our body was being made, our father and mother, before we used to think it's just some chance thing, boom. We don't understand that it's a biological process that happens. Every time the man thinks about the woman, two things happen. Because of the precept of the brain, it thinks, is it recreation or is it procreation? My colleagues are going to hang me if I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
When the intention is procreation, especially for people who understand the spirit, I want to make sure you get that. People understand this now. When the intention is procreation, the brain changes its outlook. And we now understand from the hypothalamus, the vegetative part of the brain, to the pituitary, which produces the gonadotropins, the ones that stimulate the gonads to either produce the egg, which is manufacturing every month, and then for us to produce some of those, stimulate the production and readiness of that army of hundreds of millions of tadpoles that are going to be released.
Let me ask you a question though, because I'm going to hang you too.
Please do.
There are many times you'd have heard of accidental pregnancies.
Okay.
How do you factor that into your statement?
Nothing.
Okay.
We've talked about this before. Absolutely nothing is chance. Is it choice? Absolutely not your choice.
Okay.
That's where I want us to get this. Because out of that millions, hundreds of millions of those little tadpoles that went through that journey to go and confront that egg, only one is the one that have the mojo to tell everybody, hello, don't come here, don't come close, I'm right there. And as once they touch it, when the swimmers, you watch them on TV, once they touch that, every other one stops on their tracks. So I'm going to stop there. This is not you doing, not by chance. None of us is on this earth by chance
Or accident.
or accident. I'm going to pause here a little bit because when I look at and imagine what I'm about to say, I know that if you or any one of us who are listening, and those of you out there listening right now, if you understand this, it changes the way you are going to see the disease processes that are happening in your body. So every time after that touch, the cell divides. it divides by intention to the same copy. The same copy. There's no difference in the copies. The same, the intelligence, like a zipper. Remember we
It's
talked
like
about
cloning.
it? It's you can use that word, yes. That's the same copy. The faithfulness and fidelity, they call it replication, bringing the same thing twice. The replication process is so faithful that nothing changes.
You know what's amazing about that?
Yes.
On the outside,
Yes.
where the human beings are concerned, even if it's identical twins,
Yes. Yes.
where two children are quote unquote replicated.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, I can take that. Yes.
It's just two different fingerprints.
Absolutely.
But
That's
yet
it.
inside the
They
cells
started the
replicate
same- yeah.
identically, and it's
You
the same
are
thing.
getting me the way you got me. Yes. That's the same thing we're talking about.
It's amazing.
You get that point. That's exactly where we are going.
Yes.
And the implication is so vast. If you're going to see how it affects us in every single way, our health across the board, all the way to the day you lay your body down and God takes you to his kingdom. It's just the process that I want to kind of prepare our mind on, just looking at it from a fairly understanding, the little understanding. Remember what God told Job? I still always refer to that. We do not understand everything, but the little we know is so fascinating. And I want people to kind of look at it, always think a little bit deeply. We are just going through life, eat food and go to work and come back. And nobody have sat down and asked themselves, who am I? How did I even reach here? And it is that part that I want to take us back to. That's why I say it is good to go to that beginning. So from the early life, the body is already brilliant.
Yes.
But it's working against time. That's where we're going now. So even as we know that the replication, like the zipper, I had bought this when I went to winter holiday in New York from my local Jamaica that time, and they told me it was cold. I didn't know what they were talking about. I just bought my little jacket and put on and go. But when I entered the plane and got there and come out, I ran back to the airport. I ran back to the airport.
I know the feeling.
I went and bought this big jacket now, the real one. But it has a zipper from all the way down. That zipper has a stopper.
Yes.
At the end of it. By the time I used it for 1 week, the stopper, I wasn't holding it anymore. It knocks off. And I tried. So do you know what I did? One day I had to spend time to try to, as much as I could, get it back. And then when I got it, it was misaligned, but I got it back. Do you know what I did? I used needle and held it right there.
Yeah.
That's what happens. The end of our cells in the division process, it actually unwinds. The DNA unwinds like a zipper. The stopper at the end of, we talked about it the last time, is called telomeres. Every time that cell divides, it shortens. Every time that cell, so you can imagine what happens when it gets to the last rung. It's going to blow off and stop. So what God did was just not to allow that to happen. It kept repairing the telomeres every time. A guy known as Hayflick had just looked at it and realized that we have lost the capacity for it to continue forever. We lost that somewhere. So after 70 divisions, the telomeres can't fit it anymore. As time goes on, telomeres can't work anymore. So it begins to be on its, the telomeres repair cannot happen. So
After 70 divisions?
70 divisions, so it stops. So the cells have just 70 times each time to divide. And after that, they can't. And when they
Is
can't...
that in accordance with the man is appointed 70.
I don't know where Hayflick's got that. If you look, Hayflick's limit is called. Hayflick's limit.
Wow.
70 to, well, they put 70 to 100, so you can
Yes.
begin to do the math.
Yes.
So 70 is the minimum. So think about that. So after that, the cells, what they do is they become zombie. They don't die, really, but they can't divide. They stay right there. So imagine from the day you were made to where you are now, how many cells inside of your body have died and remained in that zombie state. We are going to talk about that. They are called senescent cells. Senescence means aged cells. The second thing that we now know that as that zipper is going up and down, like I told you about the thing, sometimes mistakes, it have mistakes. But good Lord put something there called DNA polymerases that fix it. Okay, as much as, and you keep doing it.
So even when you fix your zipper and it was out of
Yeah.
line,
If I had the patience,
if you had the patience,
I could have been able to get it back.
so it's just like you do that as a child, and your mother sees it and says, "Oh, poor thing," and fix it for your father.
Exactly.
That's what God does.
Every time. So, but the mistakes now over time as our body, we are the ones. Yes, we are. It's in our hands. We need to encourage it to continue. We are going to talk about that. So, in 2012, the Nobel Prize of Medicine and Physiology went to the science of epigenetics, and epigenetics just told us, hello. Even as this thing is so sacrosanct in the way it goes, there are things that you do that can influence it. There are things that you do as a human, and it is what you put in your mouth, how you move your body, and how you control that controlling energy that is used in making that is what eventually causes it to go haywire. It can no longer fix. And so some of the cells become abnormal. And that is how most of our current diseases occur. The other ones is as it is doing this, remember, there are other things in the cell, the mitochondria, the battery that store energy, the things that manufacture proteins. All of those, as time goes on, because of those changes in the little parts of our DNA, those things begin to go bad as we are going. So we are working against that time. So that hallmark is what is called hallmark of aging. The hallmark of aging is those things that go wrong, that will make that process not remain faithful, that we don't live forever, that will make us keep deteriorating over time. So what I want to get out of us today is that when you look at our body, the cellular, at the cellular level, the loss of the repair, the mitochondrial strain that we just talked about, and the communication between the cells. So the cells that are dying will begin to block the communication line between the other cells. That's one of the things. So that breakdown between them is what puts together the fact that we're aging. The rate at which it happens is now determined by the rate at which you encourage the repair process. That's what it simply says.
But let me ask you a question. As you get older, the body changes. We're not as handsome and beautiful as we were when we were younger, and in our late teens, early 20s,
And get the hair.
and get the hairs and whatever. Is that a result of cells that cannot be replicated anymore? Is that a result of zombie cells?
So that's what I was saying. The whole of that is a culmination of a group of everything at every point not working the way it is supposed to. So this guy called Lopez had put together originally amazing. When I read it, this was 2009, I think. It blew my mind that we were able to put this together. It's called the hallmarks of aging. For those who want to ask Dr. Google, it's hallmarks of aging are those changes in our body as this process that was supposed to be by design, by intention, and by precept designed to stay forever. When those little mistakes begin to occur here and there, and we are racing against time like everybody talks about, these changes culminates together to either accelerate your aging, make it faster, or slow it down. So they are called hallmarks of aging. I just mentioned them. Either that fixing of that telomerase, the the zipper not working the way it is supposed to, the fixing of the zipper, which is by epigenetics, not working the way it is to, the energy system from the battery of the mitochondria, which provide the energy, which depends on these things to keep working normal, the communication line between the cells that we just said that is being damaged, and of course the proteins that is the functional component now. It is like it is supposed to be precise. If they all go wrong at one point or the other, the culmination over time is what is the aging process. Now, we're going to use this to highlight something down the line. For those of us who are very interested, our body have already, there is nothing that happened to us after that bad, we call it that bad point in the line of production happened, that the designer did not add something to help us recover it. So when in 2016, I want somebody to go look at it, the Nobel Prize of Medicine went to a science called autophagy. Autophagy is that as the body is making these mistakes and cells are dying and all of that accumulating, the good Lord put some system, another set of beautiful system that was discovered, that's what won Nobel Prize, that our body can trigger and send with aeroplanes and fire and cleaning crew to go and clean up all the mess and rejuvenate the cells back. Guess what happened? We don't trigger it, we leave it. We just keep build this big mansion. We just keep buying new furniture. Every minute we buy new furniture and put in there. Every minute we don't clean up the old ones. We just keep pumping in. And we now understand that if you can trigger autophagy, we're going to talk about it down the line, what you can do to do that. If you can trigger autophagy, you can from time to time clean up and allow new cells to come to their original forms. So when in the logic of what I'm trying to say, that when our body gets the wrong signals, when our body is not performing in that optimal way in which it has been created, we simply age and allow chance to keep us aging. And that is what the society has, I call it, the society influenced us to continue doing. We can go back and snatch away that life from the society and make it our own.
Wow. So the word for this morning is autophagy.
Autophagy.
And in our upcoming programs, you're going to be going in depth into that and how we could tap into that.
Yes.
I'm sure that listeners are very interested.
Yes. Two things. Yes. That epigenetics and all of this, the science behind them, those who are making notes can just write down these notes. The first thing we mentioned was epigenetics, Nobel Prize of Medicine and Physiology, 2012. The second one is hallmarks of aging. They work together if you want to understand it well. Hallmarks of aging, just put it down and read about that. And what I just highlighted is autophagy. No matter how bad things are going, if you can clean up as much as you can the damage that has been done and old, you can get back some of those. And that's what we want people to get. And all of this put together, we realize, have you noticed, Dwayne? It tells us that it doesn't matter what the genetic blueprint is. It doesn't matter what mess you have made, at what point you are in your health. All you need to do is to sit back and ask yourself, what do I really want? Do I want to get optimal health by my design at my own terms, or do I just want the society to keep pushing me all over the place in terms of my health? And one of the intentions of our program, as we agreed, Dwayne, is to point people to the areas of our lives that we can use as instruments to take back our lives. They are not big because they are not big shifts. When things are made to look so big and so sophisticated, it frightens people. And that's what I realized in lifetime medicine. They are shifting away from this. I remember, people, you have to be a vegan, or you have to be, that sort of those big words, do meditation or do exercise.
It's not so stringent.
If you do that, it kind of frightens people. They are micro habits.
Yes.
That's what I call them. Micro habits that you need to stack up every day.
Mm-hmm.
And habits, remember, our brain loves repetition.
Mm-hmm.
So when you repeat something often, you actually, neuroplasticity, one Nobel Prize, so we can talk about that. Neuroplasticity is the ability of our brain to adjust. So neuroplasticity tells us that the brain will rewire itself, can rewire itself.
Mm-hmm.
From those habits you've already created over years, you can create a little outline that it now uses to rewire itself into the new habits. And then when you stack up each of these small habits, sitting on your desk as you are down there now at work, just moving your toe
Mm-hmm.
and stimulating one muscle called soleus. It's called soleus push-up. You're not walking around, you're not doing exercise, you're just pushing it up. Soleus push-up.
Mm-hmm.
Or, for those who can, every 10 minutes you get up and go downstairs and don't come with the elevator, you would climb up. Just one little micro change that you have not been doing before. So those are the little things we're talking about. So it doesn't have to be a big shift at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to encourage people to think about as we continue this year.
We have a minute to go, but I must say this. My wife has, I got her a desk cycle
Mm-hmm.
from what's it called? Laska Cayman. I got her one of those desk cycles. So she would put it on her desk. And every time that she does a wire transfer or electronic transfer, she would actually put her foot on the desk cycle and pedal and say, I'm running down to Butterfield Bank.
You now understand that.
Yes,
so that's wonderful. That's amazing.
simple stuff that you could do
Yes.
to just keep moving.
When I started thinking about lifestyle modifications, I'd not even done lifestyle medicine then in Maypen.
Yes.
I lived in a place, anybody who knows 4 parts.
Yes.
So there's a gas station, maybe about 2 kilometers from where I live. Mm-hmm. Intentionally, every morning I want to go buy a newspaper. Mm-hmm. Early in the morning, I say I'm going to go to the gas station, get a newspaper and read before I go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk.
Yes.
So without knowing it, when I think back now, I say, wow, just doing that every morning, walk to the gas station, get the newspaper and come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I told my brain. So there are brain hacks, yes, I agree. There are things you can use to trick your brain, the little thing that is hiding in the coconut. We can hack it. And sometimes they call it brain hacks, but I don't think it's brain hacks. It's us intentionally actually changing that. Yes.
Dr. Obinna, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you. You again. I'm tempted to use a statement that you don't like when I use.
No, just Dr. Obinna.
However, someone just text me and asked me, is this program being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. You can find us on CIC Media KY. That's on YouTube. You'll see the entire program. You see last week's program as well, and our upcoming programs. They're going to be there as well. That's CIC Media KY. And Dr. Obinna has, again, I am super excited because I know some of the things that is going to roll out, and you're going to be more excited than I am. Looking forward to have you again next week, Dr. Obinna.
It's been an amazing journey with all of us. We are in this together.
Yes.
We just need to be talking and walking together. Everything is for all of us because iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And so when one person, knowledge is the beginning of healing.
Yes.
And so when one person have that knowledge and share it among your friends, as excited as you are or whichever way you understand it, that's what we ultimately want to happen. We want to start the conversation. Everything I say has some basis on science that easily you can go and cross-check and read about. And I want to trigger people to go and actually read. Because knowledge the knowledge, and that's why we are doing this, Dwayne. It's not true. We want to trigger that knowledge, that call it motivation to go and look at what is there. That everything doesn't seem to be as hard as we make it, and the society have already put us in a way that we seem like we can't move away from it. We can. There are lifestyle modifications when done on the basis of understanding of these little imperatives we are trying to bring out is the beginning of healing.
Wow. Next week we continue we continue this.
Yeah, I think we're going to continue on this track and then move into using the things we've just extracted from epigenetics. Remember that, to autophagy. We're going to now begin to extract, to now correlate it to some of the foundations of what we want to do.
One of the things that and just before we go, one of the things that that really, really fascinates me is that you are a trained medical conventional doctor.
Yes. Emergency medicine.
Emergency
medicine, casualty I worked in casualties across from Nigeria through Jamaica to Cayman emergency room for 27 years.
27 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But you have acknowledged with no apologies God's creation, God's creativity and is blueprint for our lives.
Remember, we talked about it. Started 19 when I was a 19-year-old as a medical student, wrote the first blueprint of my first book, Darwinism and Creation, the Reality of God. But I'm not the only one, you know. Dean Ornish was a cardiovascular surgeon. Mm-hmm. He actually was in the team that did Bill Clinton. He abandoned that. He stopped and started doing lifestyle medicine. Peter Attia, an Egyptian neurosurgeon who works in most of the big hospitals in the United States. Anybody who goes and listens to him now, he doesn't want to talk about it. He has not held knife for almost 8 years because he thinks he's been just, like I always say, trying to mop the floor when the faucet is still leaking. You need to go to the faucet and fix it.
Thank you. This has brought us to the end of Bright Star for this morning. Be sure to join us again tomorrow as we do it all over for you. Thank you, Dr. Avina. You have a good and godly
This has been amazing
Wednesday.
and exciting. And thank you, everybody, for listening wherever you are.
All right.
Good day.
Strike Zone House of 5 Rand Cayman's only laser tag arena invites everyone to an unforgettable experience where the entire family can enjoy alcohol